Hello.
And welcome to the Still Unsponsored Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Zach.
This podcast is about marketing, management, and other stuff. But tonight, specifically about running promos.
Yeah.
And basically crushing your numbers.
Crushing them big.
Exactly. So this podcast is based off a presentation that I previously gave at Digital Summit in Portland and will be giving next week. Although when you hear this last week, I think, based on the schedule, in Raleigh, North Carolina at Internet Summit.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to adjust the times.
Got it.
So
can you turn me down? This is really loud.
Oh, your headphones.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's that?
That's much better.
Okay.
You're screaming in my ear otherwise.
I was like, I think your levels are right. We don't want to screw with that.
No. Okay. I can hear now.
Okay. So we're not gonna do too much screwing around. We're just gonna jump straight into this.
Yeah.
I would say check out stillunsponsored.com because I will put up the deck. This whole thing will make a whole lot more sense if you check out the deck, or at least it'll be easier to take notes. But we're going to discussionize what is normally me monologuing.
Forcing website downloads and visits.
We're not doing that tonight.
Right.
What are we doing tonight, though? So the overview is we're going to talk about why we're going to do a promo. Mm-hmm. I have a playbook that is basically like the template that we use when we're executing promos at work, and how specifically to execute these things.
Cool.
So basically the way that these usually start is it's the end of the quarter and you get that call, which is, hey, the market's kind of hot right now. What can you do? Or, yo, we're not, maybe not yo, but we're not where we want to be numbers wise. What can you do to boost the numbers?
Yeah.
And so from there, you need to kind of take a little pause and talk about what we're trying to do here. So we are trying to move the most units possible. Units, transactions, conversions. We will end up maximizing cash, but not on like an ARPS level, right? We want to use the sale or the promotion, whatever word you decide to use, to maximize awareness. We want to drive incremental units. So it's not just like close more, it's close way more above and beyond what we would normally do. Or if you're business to business, generate more leads.
So this is more for folks that are in very transactional based nature, not necessarily contracts, but more B2C. You touch on a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially in the holiday season, kind of Q4.
We'll have some call outs that are like, this is the B2B play.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is like a B2C type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So note as we're moving forward, you need to be aware of your margins. And so we get into like the marketing life tips here, which I like to say, keep your friends close and keep your finance people closer. Mm-hmm. Right. Greet them in the morning when you wake up, before you talk to your spouse, just message your finance person. Hey, good morning. How are the numbers? And then say good morning to your wife. You want to go into the discussion of sales and promos, talking to your finance people, because it's going to disrupt the patterns that they normally see.
Yep.
Hopefully they're going to be super pumped about this, but they may also be apprehensive because they're like, wait, hang on, how much do you want to discount?
Yeah.
And if they do the math, it's just like, wait, hang on, that discount off of what we normally do. Wait, hang on, this doesn't make sense. And it's like, okay, no. Like,
yeah, you could summarize it like, define your objective. What's the metric you're going after? What's the thing you need to hit? Right. Etc.
You need to discuss with them your margins, right? So depending on your business, you may have hard margins or you may not. If you're in a service business, like, so if you're a consumer business, but it's a service, then your margins may be pretty soft.
Yeah.
And you're able to like move the price around significantly. If you're selling a product that is physical somewhere, you're going to have some really hard margins and you're not going to be able to go, above or below a certain range. And so you should know all of this going in, so you're not like going to surprise your finance person when you go in.
Right.
You also need to discuss with them what the goals are look like. So they're going to ask you for a forecast essentially, and you should hopefully be able to provide that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like to tell them, hey, this is what I think I'm going to do, but this is what I want you to put in the forecast, because I like to have upside.
Some would call that sandbagging, but all right.
You could call it sandbagging,
Okay.
but also, especially if you're about to do something for the first time, it's sort of covering your ass a little bit as well.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Giving
And,
some,
and
breathing
they're
room.
usually down for that as well, because everyone likes to turn in good performance numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine your funnel as a water bucket. Prospects come in at a certain rate. They convert at a certain rate. Running a sale is essentially speeding up that conversion cycle. You're emptying the funnel and converting as much as you can. So this would be, particularly relevant if you're, say, like running a bunch of retargeting, or you have a longer sales cycle. You're basically going to try and take everyone that is in process and convert them as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Will this work? This is more in reference to the playbook that we're about to share. This is our Black Friday, Cyber Monday playlist, or playbook.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally about to do this. And I have airdropped this into other brands that our parent company owns, but are technically competitors, and have beaten their best numbers as well. So, like, yes, I know this works. So
I know it works too. I've done it.
yeah. All right, moving on. So, item number 1 in the playbook, creative. Basically, the goal is to create a distinct visual difference from normal, so your shoppers will know that something special is happening. You could theme the sale to like reinforce your brand, but again, being visually different, so it's something different. So if they've been visiting, again, you're converting that water bucket. So if they've been seeing your site, then you need to like show them something they haven't seen in a while. You could leverage holidays. You could make stuff up, but it is important that you make it relevant. We once did a sale that was a Talk Like a Pirate Day sale.
Gee, how'd that one go?
Not well.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
Right. Yeah, don't do that. So it's got to make sense to your customers. Something to think about, like if you're business to business, like what are the calls to action? So if you go download this deck on stillunsponsored.com and you look at the creative that we're showing here, it's a lot of like making the call to action bigger, making it flashier, creating that visual difference.
Yep.
So if you're business to business, like ours is always like convert here, right? Go down this funnel. What is the business to business call to action? Like, is it submit a lead, or is it, hey, we know you're in progress, so let's pull you down a little bit further?
Planning your objectives.
Getting
them all figured out. I actually wrote about this on Forbes.com, kind of making sure that all your touch points are relevant. And
you're published in Forbes?
I'm published on Forbes.
Wow.
I actually wrote about this topic not too long ago.
Like the Borgore song, like, look, Mom, I made it to Forbes.
Basically, I'm on Forbes. But I wrote about this, actually this very topic as well, kind of just planning for your promotions. And you really need to make sure that you think about the user experience all the way through, whether it's email, whether it's the website, whether it's text messaging. It all needs to kind of align. So I can't see the deck in front of me right now, but I kind of envision where you're going. And
so hold on to that email thought.
Consistency is key, period. Whatever channel you're talking about, it needs to make sense.
When we get into the execution segment of this, let's come back and talk about the way that your creatives work on it.
Yeah.
But speaking about creatives, I have a note in here, passionate creatives make engaging art, right? So if your creative team's into it, it's going to be a whole lot better. Let them lead the ideation, right? So basically what I do is I bring them into a conference room and I say, hey guys, we need to run a sale around this time. I've got flexible dates. Hopefully I've got flexible dates. What do you got? And then the crazy ideas start going, right? So you got to steer them away from, Talk Like a Pirate Day. But when they come up with like the killer idea, you're like, yeah, go do it.
Who came up with that idea?
The same guys that came up with everything else.
All right.
Yeah. Look, they can't all be winners.
Sure.
They've done this a lot.
Sure. All right.
All right. So discounts, special offers. If you're doing this, the whole point of doing this is getting the numbers to move significantly. So you got to do something that is going to move them from shopper to buyer. It's got to be, if it's a Cyber Monday thing, it's got to be better than the competitors. So basically, you're not just standing out from your competitors, you're standing out from yourself. So you need to think about that when you're designing the offer. What is really, really, really going to move people down the funnel?
Again, not to interrupt. I know you got your flow going on here.
No, go for it.
I'm just thinking. So, kind of a tactical pro tip might be, if you have some time, you might be able to A/B test kind of what sale works. Open up to a very small segment, see what works with it, and kind of go from there.
I would totally recommend that.
I actually wrote about that too, not in Forbes, but somewhere else on affiliate feed front.
Yeah.
Doing more with less with A/B testing, so check it out.
Right, exactly. Well, and if you have to do this frequently, then you'll learn what works better than others, and so you'll cut and paste. So you don't necessarily want to cut and paste all the time. We're gonna get into what this does to your brand, but having a good idea of what works and what doesn't is invaluable.
Turn your watch off.
Okay. Hang on one moment, please. There we go.
Thank you.
I probably have other devices that'll make noise as well. This is a normal podcast occurrence. Okay, next, create urgency. So timers, yes, maybe some blinking lights, tastefully, right? But again, all about creating that visual difference and, really driving that urgency.
Yeah.
I love timers. Like, timers work really well.
Yeah. It's one of the conversion tactics everyone uses.
Yeah.
That works.
And that's why, like we were talking about in the last episode, like, why do I get the same, email from the BD guys? Like, well, okay, obviously it works on someone.
Yeah.
So they keep using it.
Yeah.
Right. Limited time, in terms of creating that, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the, whoa.
That was you.
That was me. I whacked the microphone. Tell them when the sale is over. This, I think, is something that's like debated by marketers. And I know that we internally have this debate all the time, which is, should you tell them when the sale ends or not? Right? Because if you tell them when it ends, they might decide to procrastinate until it does.
Yep.
So, I'm a fan of telling them when it ends because I feel like it creates that rush. Can you create the next question is, can you create the sense of urgency? So anyone that has real inventory has a huge advantage there because they'll say, we're doing this until it's over.
While supplies last.
Right. So that triggers that, like, the customer's competitive instincts. So anytime you could use a countdown timer or like number of offers left, that would be another way to like really drive that, like, that innate prey instinct, or predator instinct. Yeah. One of the things that we do that's pretty crazy is flash sales inside sales.
Inception sale.
Yeah. So we'll be doing a Black Friday sale, and then we'll call out a couple of hours. We have it planned, but to the customer, it's like, oh shit, it just rolled over and it got even better. Right. And then that's very limited time. So we don't necessarily have a timer for Black Friday. Like, everyone knows when Black Friday is. So one day. But then it's like, oh, this is a flash sale inside Black Friday for a super crazy discount, or one product that's just like on hella sale. Like that, those are so much fun because those are when you like actually break your like hourly sales records.
For all those SaaS customers. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For anyone. One of the questions, we're going to get into execution here in a little bit, but one of the things to think about is how fast can your emails deliver, right? Because you're going to want to be emailing people to let them know that this thing is happening. So, you're going to at some point need to experiment before the sale, sending a whole base email and checking out like the interval between, delivery and not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when it lands in the inbox and people start to open it. So planning, pick your time wisely. again, another thing that gets debated is like, when should you run the sale? Should you run it on your best days or your worst days? And I firmly believe you should run it on your best days.
100% agree.
Yeah, because you someone recently encapsulated it nicely. They said like, well, if you're running a sale but no one knows about it, you're just giving away your margins.
Yeah.
And so like, you need that traffic, right? And so you need those eyeballs, and you need those eyeballs to tell other eyeballs. And so you have to run it on your best days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And times.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't run it in the middle of the night unless you have a certain site that operates in the middle of the night.
Go to analytics and look.
Yeah,
like
it'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, so insight, for us, because our customers know that Black Friday is happening, like midnight on Black Friday is huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we did that at any other time of the year, no one would give a shit until like 10 a.m.
It's explicit now.
It's going to be every time, Zach.
We made it so far this time.
We made it 15 minutes before I said shit. No, I'm pretty sure when we roll the tape.
Oh.
Okay. One day we'll have one that's not.
All right.
So generally, there's two types of promos. The type that you plan: Black Friday, birthday sales, semi-annual sales, and then those that you don't. So it's like the
Need to make our numbers.
Expletive deleted. we got to make our numbers, right?
Yeah.
And those tend to be a lot more chaotic. So the real key to success here is like integrating everything across all channels. So execution, right? Pro tip number 1, email your customer base. Your customers are most likely to come back and buy more.
Sure.
They are also most likely to tell others. Like, they're your biggest fans.
They're your advocates.
Mm-hmm. It might also be a really great time to remind them about your referral program.
Bingo.
Right?
Yep.
Like, we're talking about integration here. Like, email your customer base, referral program, affiliate program. Speaking of referral program and affiliate program, email your partners. Open the promotion up to your partners so they can help you close business. Our next episode is going to be about affiliates and value-added resellers and stuff like that. So if those guys have access to audiences that you don't, you definitely want them, pushing for you.
Yep.
You got to give them this means giving them early warning. So they can't find out about this when the rest of your customers are finding out about it. They're just going to be like, all right, cool story, bro.
Yep.
And do nothing. So, you need to email them well ahead of time so they can get their campaigns ready. Another thing to do would be negotiate even better deals with the partners. So if you're worried about margins, you might go to them and say like, hey, I'm about to like crush your close rate. But at the same time, if you want to take advantage of this, I got to lower your commission.
Yep.
And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, well, what do you think the conversion rate's going to be? Like, how much more money do you think I'm going to make? And they'll be down for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're telling them you get to sit this one out and they're going to make no money.
Right.
So
take your pick.
Yeah, take your pick. And they're going to want to make money.
Yeah.
Or they're not very good partners.
Another topic for another day.
Topic for another day. B2B guys, what's your sales team doing during this time? Especially if you're one of those businesses that has both a sales team and a e-commerce side. So give them special sales only offers. So when the customers call in and be like, hey, I saw that you had a sale. You're like, yeah, not only do we have a sale, but there's something you haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the offer that we have. So, again, using your sales team to do what they do, which is
maximize all your touch points.
Exactly.
Yep.
Make sure that your sales guys are working during the sales hours.
Also a plus.
Right. Also a plus.
No one likes a voicemail.
We talked to like Black Friday going live at midnight, right? So your sales guys aren't working, or maybe they are. I don't know. But like, you plan that out ahead of time. And plan on also hitting your pipeline, right? So if you're a B2B business and you have people moving through the pipeline, it's, we talked about emailing the customer base, but maybe you should also be looking in Salesforce or your CRM and say, okay, who's in this stage of the funnel and what can we do to move them from here to there?
Yep.
And align all of those things.
Yep.
make sure they have the right assets to leverage that as well, obviously. Naturally. So, here's what we're saying. Integrate across all channels. You want this thing to blow up when it hits, when you hit the button. Social content, PPC, affiliate, all of that. Everyone pushes the button at the same time. So if the sale goes live at midnight, everyone on the marketing team is awake at midnight, unless they can automate it. And it all goes live. Team bonding activity. Of course, most of us also stay up for the next hour to see what happened after we push the button.
Thick and thin.
Yeah, exactly. But it's usually a fun thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually a team bonding moment, not just like, hey, we're all at midnight and this blows. It's like, okay, we put all this hard work in and now we just push the button. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I kind of buried the lead for this one, but a sale without an influx of traffic is just giving away margins. So you, again, best hours, align all your channels. You got to make sure that that's like going for you in the right direction.
Yep.
So pulling it off perfectly. Step one, we talked about this. Let your creatives go wild. You want them to be passionate about it. So the art is awesome. Write the requirements as a whole team. So after the creative team kind of has their concept, we bring everyone into a room and we say, okay, what does everyone need? Our creative team puts together an asset pack that's going to cover most of the bases. And since they've done this enough now, they kind of know what everything is needed. But since you have everyone in the room while you're writing those requirements, if your social media guy says, hey, Facebook just rolled a new ad unit and I need this. Like, and I don't need it static. It needs to be video. Or actually, can you do an animated GIF this time? You capture all of. Oh God, we're not going down this right now. Then you go do the work. I'm not gonna give in. GIF, Zach, fuck, GIF.
Trying to keep you on pace here, keeping your toes.
Yeah. Do the work. Push the button. Win.
For the record, I think it's GIF too, not GIF, but
yeah, I know, because we're like normal, regular people that learned how to sound out words.
But they said it was GIF.
Who said it was?
Whoever. Don't worry. All right, continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another time. All right. So when you're getting ready to do this, you want to do step before win is do a dress rehearsal. So especially on the bigger sales that have like a lot of moving parts, we bring everyone in and we hour by hour go through what's moving when. And especially 2 weeks out, it's like, okay, the front end development team's delivering this, and then QA is doing that, and then everyone's going to chill for a week because it's all going to be done and we're going to relax. Not. And then it's like, okay, we're 2 hours out. These affiliate emails drop, or sorry, let me rewind.
Yeah.
A week out, this affiliate email drops. Then 2 hours out, this email drops. This is when the customer base emails go. Okay, now we all push the button at midnight.
This is one of those meetings where you definitely need to bring donuts to it.
Yeah. The slide for this has a picture of the second most attractive person in the world.
Behind yours truly? Thanks. I appreciate that.
Sorry, third, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
There's the hosts of the Still Unsponsored podcast, and then there's George Clooney.
Of course, yeah. Hey.
So, picture the Ocean's 11 guys, or any bank heist video when they're like, okay, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's what you want to do. Do that.
Plan to commit fraud.
Don't do that. It's a perfectly legal venture.
Okay.
Okay. Track your sales hour by hour. So this is after the sales launched. Keep the performance in one document so you can refer to it later.
Step by step, day by day.
Right. Well, so it's going to be super helpful to know, okay, are we on track versus last year, or are we doing better or worse? Are we on track versus our previous sales this year? Is anything wrong?
It's all about the numbers.
Or is it going well? And then after the fact, this is going to be very helpful for when you're planning the next one and you're like, okay, at this hour, this thing that we did worked super well.
You got a baseline.
And you know everything that happened.
Yep.
So that, that promo tracking document is something that I look at like a couple times a year, but it's invaluable when I do have to look at it. So we talked about funnel. After the promo, the funnel's going to be deleted or depleted. Not deleted.
I knew what you were thinking. Depleted.
Yeah. We call this hangover. I don't know. Is there any other name for it? Sale hangover?
Yeah, that works.
It's going to take a while, depending on your sales cycle, for that to fill back up.
Well, and the reason for that is because everyone you mentioned before, you're pushing people along in that funnel.
Right.
And so you pushed them over the edge, and now your funnel just kind of fell out.
Right, exactly. We emptied those water buckets.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so now you got to put the water bucket back and let it start to fill back up.
Yeah.
So if this was B2B, that problem would be particularly acute. Or if your sales cycle was like 2 weeks, like most people that are pulling this off, their sales cycle is going to be like, a couple of hours or like 2 days. And so, they'll have 1 day of low sales following the sale, low, gross revenue performance following the sale, but it won't be anything that would impact, overall. Or if you're B2B, it's like, okay, it was the end of the quarter and we did this. And so we know like month one at the beginning of the quarter, not only are all our salespeople on vacation, but, like we also emptied the funnel.
Yeah.
So
keep trying.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this bonus section is called managing your success, and I have it in here, like the allegory of the successful marketing manager who, through good intentions, kills their brand. Yeah. So, it kind of goes like this, like your phone rings, you're like, hello, and the executive's like, we need you, and you do that. Put me in. Come on, Zach, give it to us.
Put me in, coach. Ready to go.
Exactly. And you do it, right? You do everything that I just outlined, right? And you kill it, right? So then a short time later, it's like, ring. Okay, exec, hey, can you do that thing again? And then you have a decision to make, right? You can either say, put me in, which is a path that leads to addiction, or you can say, hey, I'm not sure that's really a great idea because we need to think about our brand equity at this point. So don't get addicted. Customers will start to expect your sales and they'll make buying decisions accordingly. So that hangover will be permanent.
A permanent hangover.
But it'll be worse than a permanent hangover because you won't convert anything unless you're on sale. So, you don't want to be JCPenney's, Kohl's, J.Crew, like any of those people that have their customer base like perma addicted. Your leaders are going to get addicted. And eventually this will change your brand.
Sooner than you think.
And if you have to get out of this, you're going to have to go cold turkey, and it's going to suck. Like, it's going to suck so bad. So, again, you pick up that call, you're at the decision point, like, let's talk about preserving our brand equity. The sales need to be used to enhance the brand. The sales need to be used sparingly. The sales need to be at unpredictable times. Use the sales to get people excited. So Nordstrom semi-annual sale, REI, like one of your favorite stores?
Haven't been in one.
Okay, well, they have an anniversary sale where they send out a 25% off coupon.
Yeah, that's great.
20% off coupon, and people wait for it.
Coupon.
Right? Coupon. Okay. Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Black Friday.
Coupons.
Yeah, or just Black Friday. Yeah. So
not coupon. We got to work on some of your alliteration and pronunciation here tonight.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is it. The next step would be, do you have any questions? Or do you want to just now go subscribe to the Still Unsponsored podcast?
Next time on Still Unsponsored, we'll be talking about...
what will we be talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what we're talking about next time. Next time we're talking about finding good affiliates or partners or value-added resellers or, whatever. This is, again, in preparation for another presentation I'm giving at Affiliate Summit, which will be like, I think the name of the title is like 7 tips to get your affiliate manager to throw money at you.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. Like, how clickbaity is that? It's like clickbait, but in real life.
Well, follow us at stillunsponsored.com.
Leave us a review. That was a rough transition, dude, but leave us a review.
I'm done with this one.
You're done with this one?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to add?
Follow us on social.
Okay. Cool. Well, and with that, Zach's enthusiasm, we're done here.
Time
Thanks,
for some more
everyone.
wine. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye.